What's up YouTube, welcome back to MMOSWORLD. We are playing Conqueror's Blade. This is a combination of a strategy game, and you have third-person combat elements as well, where lots of players can play on this MMO in one map at the same time. So it's all about strategic castle sieges, capturing the point. Just think of a combination of games from For Honor to Mountain Blade and even Tiger Knight, which is a very similar game to this. So we'll spend 10-20 minutes just playing around, messing a bit in the closed beta. It's somewhat a CBT for players who pre-order the game. It's not live yet. It's going to launch in early 2019, I think, but right now founders pack owners can download the game and play whenever the developer leaves the server up for testing. It recently had an open beta, which was pretty successful. So we'll go ahead and create a new character here. We've just clicked new character, and the first thing you will do is choose a starting region. Now, what are the benefits and the bonuses of picking one of these regions is unknown at the moment. So we'll just do the tutorial and see what the gameplay looks like. But so far right now in the CBT, you can only pick between Osteria here, this left-sided region at the top, and Maoyang. One thing I do know is that the units that you recruit, so you have your third-person hero, right, which can fight on the battlefield, but you'll also have units, an army to control within the matches. Now, the armor of those armies are going to be dependent on the region that you pick, Maoyang or Osteria. So let's go ahead and do Maoyang here and hit OK. Now we can pick our gender, male or female. Let's go ahead and pick female. Now the loading times are a little slow, unfortunately. Games that are in CBT and early access and in alpha, pro tip, put them on your SSD. They load so much better and faster, and you know the gameplay is going to be better as well, because for the games that are in testing, they're not optimized at all. So until they've released, just put them on your SSD. So here I have the female character model. This is just a base looks. Let's see if we can customize that further. Doesn't look like it, but this is pretty interesting. It has all the country flags that you can pick from, and this is important maybe because when you find matchmaking, or if you're looking for a guild or some friends to play with, you can see where they're from, and that could help with forming groups with low ping or easy to communicate because you guys are playing the same language or whatever. So I am just going to pick one of the flags here at random. I am playing on the EU server, right? So let's just go ahead and pick the EU. Let's go with England. Let's find the English flag. There you go, UK. We'll just do that, even though I'm not from the UK. Right, so for presets, let's see. Zooming in and out, I'm playing on the highest graphics settings. You can see the motion blur there. There's hair physics, no boob physics, and I know that's important to some of you guys out there. Horny buggers. Alright, as for facial presets, decent amount of options so far. The character models are, you got a mix of, I don't know what you want to call them. Since this game is set in medieval times, you have like samurai type units, and you also have, you know, almost medieval West type of units, but you don't really see that portrayed here. We'll just go with one of these, because we did pick the Maoyang region, so that sounds kind of ancient Chinese, I guess. We'll go with a simple farmer girl look. You can play with the different eye settings here if you want. Cheeks as well, only 2 tones that you can pick from. And then you got skin tone, finally lips, that's for lipstick if you want in a war game, which is pretty funny. And you can add tattoos. That does not go well with this. Oh, this is actually pretty cool. Yeah. I mean, Conqueror's Blade, there's nothing historical about Conqueror's Blade, so let's go hit next. Now, this is the fun part. This is where you get to pick your starting weapon, which ultimately decides what skills that you will start with. There is a good chunk here from short bow to glaives. Let's see how long this loads. And you can tell that the armor kind of changes as well. Short sword and shield, I should say. Pardon me. This has the Roman medieval look. The Nodachi, which is a two-handed samurai sword that looks pretty badass. You have the long sword and shield. Let's see. Oh, that looks pretty good. musket for ranged, and finally dual blades. Oh, hello. I like that. Suitable for assassins and infiltrators. Nice. So what we're going to do is we're going to go longsword and shield in this one. Let's see how the melee combat plays with. For name, I'm going to type in a simple name, Halfwin, and I'll see you guys in game. Right, so here we are in the world of Conqueror's Blade at some town. First of all, let's take a look at the UI. This is the third-person cam that you can control your character. A WSD to move, shift to sprint. And you can't really use your skills out here in the open. You can see my hotbar at the bottom there with all my skills kind of locked. But I do get a horse right off the bat, so hitting B will bring up the horsey. And this is how you travel around. Now this game is, it's a combination of two modes. You have the battle mode, which you can see at the top, the big battle J key. Which is where you go into the huge map where it's like 10 versus 10, you know, take the castle or whatever. But then outside of that, you have this other mode where it's sort of instance world exploration and questing with crafting and all that stuff. So let's go ahead and hit P. Let's take a look at the character menu. So because this is CBT, it appears that I have a ton of things given to me. It seems I've got some of the best armor right now. No, not really. But I do have a lot of these other stuff in my bags that I have absolutely no idea what this is about. Career, this is where you see all your stats. You have achievements and overview and all that stuff. Mounts, you can see what is in your stables, and you can have multiple horses. And skills, nice. So this is the progression, I suppose. The more you play, the more stuff can be unlocked. So I can unlock all this stuff now, but I need honor. I have like 10,000 there, but I can't I can't unlock that. So I just have the base skills. So there is a progression system, and finally the character sheet, which we've already seen. So look at this guy. He has a quest out here, and then you got all these other people. We'll go into town and check it out. Let's see what this is. Hall of Fame. I suppose this is the leaderboard for, you know, matches played. F is the interact key. Let's see hero ranking. There's actually hero rankings already. Interesting, even for CBT. Let's go see what this guy with the quest has. What do you got? Warehouse keeper. So let's see. Quests. Safe and sound. Find a warehouse keeper to find out what the warehouse is for. So you do have quests here in Conqueror's Blade, which I'm sure a lot of people will just be after the combat. But you're gonna want to, you know, gather materials and all that stuff, because hitting M, you see that the map. Let's take a look at the world map. This is the region that we're in, Mojang. And I suppose when the game launches, you can head out to all these other regions, and there's going to be different resources for capturing or conquering them. I'm not sure how that works out yet, because it's still early days here. As for town itself, this is where all the other stuff happens. Your crafting, the auction house. So in that regard, you know, it kind of plays like an MMORPG as well. Siege engineer, quartermaster. This is where you buy all your stuff for the battles ahead. But what we are going to do is jump straight into battle so we can see some gameplay. There's two modes, Ostarian Siege and Fort Siege 1. That's PvP, but for PvE, there isn't anything here yet, so I can't really do that. So let's go ahead and do PvP. Level 0 to 40, I'm at level 20. I've been given a boost somewhat, so let's go ahead and enter the battle. Alright, so we found ourselves a match. It's going to be starting in 47 minutes. To the left, you'll see all the other players in the match with us. And here I can start with my units. This is what I was talking about. You get to control your own units, and you see them in the background there. I'm going to start with a bunch of gun guys, some guards as well, and I'll save the javelin folks for later on. So I'm going to start with 2 units. Now, as for controls, I believe V and X are going to be used to control your units as you move forward as the commander, and at the same time, you can put them in formations as well. So there are parts of this game that may feel strategic, especially if you get, you know, put in a choke point or something, and you're kind of want to put up a shield wall, especially if you have those sort of units. Then, yeah. So here we go. Game's about to begin. Enemy team on the right side. The rules at the bottom. Attacker must capture the final flag, while the defender must hold the last flag to win. So where am I? What team am I on? I'm on the attacking side, it looks like. And you got a bunch of level 30s in there. We are 1 player short. So it's not just, you know, every unit out there. So if some guy has 3 units, plus the hero as well. So the combat here can be on a large scale, but from the graphics I've seen so far and the gameplay, it really reminds me of Tiger Knight, which is a very similar game out of Asia. I believe from my.com too. So the game will start in 1 second. I'm gonna get off my horse here. And we are now going to fight. I believe, actually, we are the defenders. So what we are going to need to do is
Yes, sir.
defend the fort. So these are my units, as you can see. I'm gonna hold V.
Raise your shields. Charge. Charge. It shall be done.
Yeah, I suppose X just puts them in a formation like that. C,
It shall be done.
at the bottom left, you can actually see the command. So X to defend, C to follow, V to attack. We have 2 points, which are A and B, and A is in front of us. There's a couple of ways things could happen here. The enemy attackers could climb over the wall, or they could break through the front gates. So I'm gonna prepare just in case they break through the front gates. Hitting the tab button opens up the scoreboard. That's another player, as you can see. Oh, here we go. Okay, let's go ahead and put them in formation here.
Charge. Yes, my lord.
And here they come. So I've entered combat with another player. That's another hero. This is a hero. And dead. Together we kind of tag teamed. And the enemy player has sent their units in here, and I think hitting V while you're aiming will start attacking the units. So here I am just whacking a bunch of cavalry units at the moment. I am taking a beating. My health is going down. And as a hero, you generally don't want to get into the thick of things. How many units do I have left? Yeah, you can see them here. They're not supposed to be in melee range, but they are, and I think I've lost half my units now. Hitting the H key was sort of like a self-heal, like that. So that is the basic gameplay. You control your commander, and at the same time, you have units to control as well. Okay, I see they have come into the walls, so they're up on the walls. The timer says 7 minutes left for the match. So here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna take my guys up.
Yes, my lord.
Ooh, I'm getting hit. There's an archer shooting from the top. Oh, there they come. Okay, let's go into defend mode. Let's hit X to defend here. And get into a formation of some sort.
Raise your shields.
Oh, enemies are capturing fort. That goes Conqueror.
Raise your shields. Charge.
I've just told my units to deal with her while I make my way to point A.
Shall be done.
Actually, they've breached everywhere. So there's no voice chat. I do not think there's voice chat of any kind. So it's hard to communicate with other players. Hitting enter does bring out the chat. And it seems like other players can sort of warn you.
Yes, my lord.
I'm more concerned... Yeah, our left side, definitely up there is kind of breached right now. That's where the majority of folks are. Okay, so now we wait for those two to come down. So point A has been captured. That leaves us with point B, C, and B. Yeah, so these 2 points are the last ones that we definitely want to hold on to. Ooh, I've been killed by an assassin. And that's what the assassin class can do. and I am dead. So basically, assassins can sneak into the castle and take out heroes. Unfortunately, none of my heroes saw that. But when you die, you don't die permanently. You get a res in 5 seconds. As soon as I respawn, and done. So now that these guys are retreating, I'm gonna go ahead and respawn. Let's see, I don't have items. So now Prefecture Guard is gonna be my next one. So here I am now with my Prefecture Guard.
Shall be done.
So every time your unit dies, I do believe that when you go back into town after the match, you can then replenish your health or recruit more units. So defend, B, and C are my orders, together with the squad, and yeah, we're gonna want to watch out for assassins, obviously. B looks pretty good. It's just the front of the castle right now.
It shall be done.
Okay, so we've got a couple of them in the castle right now. Let's go ahead and I've just sent my enemies. I thought I set my units to charge, which is kind of weird. So let's go ahead and hit this, guys. I've just got off my mount. I'm sword and boarding everybody, and I'm about to die, and I'm dead. 2-on-1s are not a good idea. And I do believe I've lost all my units as well. Gameplay is really rough around the edges because the combat feels kind of floaty. And by that, I mean, you know, it's hard to tell, you know, who's hitting who or what. And units just die so fast. This is a CBT for, you know, Founders Pack owners, but the tutorial kind of sucks. There wasn't a tutorial about what to do. It's just by luck that the UI has some basic info, but I'm sure there's more layers of strategy to this. But in this early stage, I get the concept. I kind of like it. Like you see there, that guy has put a shield wall up, which is going to mean harder to... Oh, I'm out of units. Well, that's some bullshit. So I'm totally out of units, so that means I am now left with my hero only. And I'm going to have to kill the enemies on foot, I suppose, or on my horse. So C is about to go down, and we want to get in C and try and defend that. Enemies are taking point B. Somebody should totally go over there and grab that. Our team has a poor mix of ranged and melee. So I guess I will let them... We should let them just take C, and then we can just defend 1 point. It'll be so much more easier. I'm just using my horsey to get rid of all these small fries here. Until somebody knocks me off like that one. Okay, so I've just been sent packing. You can... Wow! That doesn't make any sense. Everybody here seems to be level 30. But it just seems that, you know, whatever, for whatever reason, people just melt so fast. I got killed by a unit there, which is quite bullshit. So there's a couple of things that kind of worries me right now. What's the balance like, even though it's only CBT? It just... For defenders, it's always going to be a little harder. Because you have to coordinate to defend a castle. It's a big place. For attackers, if you guys are not attacking or pushing a point, then, you know, it's going to become a mess, essentially. So this seems to be a popular unit, you know, having your hero. So let's see, the assassin here just completely annihilated the enemies. Attackers have about 6 minutes to take the point. And if everybody's units die, then it's just going to be hero against hero. Which was kind of why it was a good idea to just mow down some enemies. I'm still kind of pissed that, you know, once your hero goes, it just goes. No mounts available too because my horse is dead. We have taken a supply point, so that's good. So if I get jumped by an assassin now, that would be pretty unfortunate. But let's go ahead and do C as usual. You can see the AI pathing for units is also kind of stupid. They're just stuck at the bottom there, which could hinder the outcome of matches, one might think. But Akinaru's got the right idea. The placement for defense and everything is decent. I mean, if you have experience with this, you probably know what to do. At this point, I'm still trying to figure out my class and weapons, how to block, and so right click is block. Great. No tutorial whatsoever. So since I've lost my horse and I've lost my units, this is all I can do. And now we look at the enemy players bringing over their wow, they have a ton of units. Okay, here they come. Let's get rid of all these buggers. Oh, that's some crap. How is that even fair? That is such bullshit. That's a level 13 player in there. Yeah, they're gonna take C, and the match is lost. Our defense time is extended by 3 minutes. We have to now take the flag back. Yeah, from what I'm seeing right now, it just doesn't make any sense. You know, you've got 2-on-1 situation, but they just seem to have a lot of units. Yeah, it's a little skewed right now. Even though I think we put up a proper defense. Here's a level 14 player. Okay. Not sure how he got pulled down, but right. Yeah, it's a slaughter right now. Attackers are definitely having the upper hand. This guy's doing alright. You do have stamina too, by the way, so you can like double tap to dodge out of the way and things like that. Oop, I nearly clicked leave battle there. That would have been disastrous. Alright guys, hold the point. Or take C back. I don't even know what the objective is right now. Defend the allied base. So this big center circle thing here is what we're going to have to defend. So, I guess that's that. Heroes, allied heroes are still bringing out units, and I'm the only guy without any extra units. That doesn't... How does that work? So as I'm sprinting, take a look at the white bar beneath my health bar. Here we go. The battle is joined. I'm gonna go straight for north there. So I guess grouping together like this is the only way to survive. So I assisted somebody there, so I wasn't entirely useless this fight. So this is what we're doing. We're just spamming the battle. Yeah, I'm just spamming a bunch of crap. My Q and E skills are basically all I have. I don't have any armor at the moment. Ooh, what the hell? Killed by what? Kim for win? I don't see a Kim for win. Oh, at the back, I suppose. We got flanked there. It just seems like we have a ton more attackers than we have defenders. Yeah, gameplay right now is really rough around the edge. I suppose you're going to want to pour hours into crafting and unlocking skills and unlocking weapons down the line. and of course getting proper units as well. As for the map itself, I mean, it's fairly standard. It's the graphics right now that I'm most disappointed with, because if you go and watch the launch trailer or the announcement trailer, it looks nothing like what you're seeing in game. It just looks really scripted, but then again, you can't expect like a massive Total War graphics, which costs a lot of money. But by the same token, Conqueror's Blade is not a free-to-play game. It is actually a buy-to-play game, and this is by my.com too. So the base is now taken. We've lost the match, but it was really one-sided, honestly. So that is it. That is your reward. Battle 135 honor, I believe this is what it's called. Plus 46. It does seem to have currency. You got XP as well. Personal stats, team stats. I mean, we are one player short. But that's not like it's gonna make a huge difference. I had 0 unit kills and 6 assists, but no hero kills. As for the other teams, like everybody has some shit. Death map, you can see who died when. So all in all, the battle experience is pretty piss poor at this state right now. Even though it's CBT, I definitely think it needs a lot of work. It just doesn't feel like the finished product, and I think a couple of things need to change. More options in terms of the battle itself, maybe call in reinforcements, have weather changing the outcome like rain and stuff like that. I mean, that would just make games like these not feel like a knockoff, because right now it just feels like a knockoff of Tiger Knight. It's the same thing, except that Conqueror's Blade has padded open world nonsense like world quests and really poorly explained crafting and progression system. So let's give it some time and revisit it down the line. So here we are out of the battle. Under strength units. So the first thing you'll notice is that the 2 units that I have are under strength, which means they got beaten, right? So I'm gonna have to pay money to get them on their feet again. So let's click that, and that took 2 seconds to heal. So that's basically it. I guess a lot of other players in there had used some of these money and whatever to get better units and upgrade their gear to be, decent in matches and whatever. So I'm just here to show off the gameplay. All that imbalance shit, maybe it'll take time to sort out in the future. But right now, gameplay wise, the perspective, at least for me, is that it's nowhere near good enough. I mean, the graphics look decent. Character creator looked awesome, but when you have that level of detail for so many players on the map, it kind of suffers a little bit. I would like to see the combat feel more impactful and heavy. Right now, it's just floaty, kind of cardboard, especially with all those units just, cluttering up the place. It's hard to tell. So, yeah, if you want to check out Conqueror's Blade, it releases sometime next year. I think it's in the CBT sort of alpha test stage right now. So you have to pay money to check out the game. Even then, only some windows are open for testing between a time period. So you're going to have to check in with my.com on the Steam page for that. So check out Conqueror's Blade on Steam if you want to check it out. That's it from us. Hit the like button if you found this video interesting, and subscribe to MMOSWORLD for more stuff. You can also check out our website, MMOSWORLD.com, for MMO news. As ever, I'm Adrian from MMOSWORLD, signing out.